What's up, guys? Hopa236 here, and I am back with the Raven, and we're just gonna see what happens. I am not really ready to record. Like, I just got out of bed, so we're gonna see how this goes.
How wonderful. Sunshine and a blue sky above the Mediterranean Sea. It would be a perfect cruise day, if not for the murder.
Yeah, so we gotta figure out who murdered who. And I love this music. I was dancing to it the first time I played this. Favorite music in the game. I don't know why. Okay. Examine the top.
Big, soft towels. I could reserve a deck chair with it. No, better not. These things made quite a racket last night. I couldn't hear myself think.
Okay, there's really nothing here. So I plan to make these episodes like 25 minutes, half an hour, something like that, and just complete the whole game. Apparently it's like 3 hours long, so we're like a quarter of the way through this chapter, and yeah. So we're gonna go outside, talk to people. I really don't know what to do right now, but we'll just figure it out. Okay, go to the side deck. Might as well. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm supposed to go. Go and talk to people. Stuff. So this is where he dropped the gun. What a dumbass.
Curious. One can easily toss a gun into the sea from almost anywhere on the ship without being noticed. And yet, the murderer chose the one spot where it's not actually possible.
That's... Wait, what? Might as well.
I suppose the life jackets are stowed there, close to the railing, close at hand.
Okay, sometimes it's just pointless nonsense that he talks about, which is weird. But let's see if Legrand is up here or something. I really think he's the murderer. I don't know how this game ends. I just think it's him. It's my guess.
We were here yesterday when we heard the shot, and it was also here where Legrand caught our stowaway.
I still don't trust Legrand.
The grate must be part of the ship's ventilation system.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. Sure.
A boat like this would also...
Okay, there's really nothing up here.
Why is there an axe hanging
For
here?
safety.
I suppose it's for chopping through ropes in the... Or they use it to enforce who's allowed on the boat.
I think for safety.
The ship's bridge. 2 men. I get the impression that the officers keep things running.
Search the
There's
corner.
dirt piled up in the corner. Down below where the passengers are, the ship is pretty clean. But the crew doesn't seem to care as much up here.
Wow, so much to look at. So, a lot of this is just like observing, and then he says something. Some of it doesn't even matter to the story. I just don't know what to do. So many loading screens. Come on. Just be done loading. Yay, we can talk to people.
It may not seem like it, but Constable Oliver is actually a very effective watchman.
Pretty sure.
Ahem.
What's going on?
The Raven just flew by.
What?
Or at least, he might as well have.
I wasn't asleep.
Sure.
I understand. It was just a ruse.
Stowaway.
Any conclusions about a young stowaway?
Yeah, he's a bit suspicious. Foreign and whatnot.
I see.
Wow.
Did
You're
he act
racist.
suspiciously in any way?
No. The shot surprised him as much as it did me. Looked in on him earlier. Still seems to be asleep.
Covered with a blanket from head to toe?
Aha. He's still in there. I poked him.
May I go downstairs and have a couple of words with our guest?
No, you may not.
Come again?
Inspector Legrand wants to conduct all the interrogations himself.
Of course
I'm
he
sure
does.
he'll understand if I form my own conclusions.
He ordered me to guard the door, and that's just what I'm gonna do.
How about a bit of individual initiative?
How about letting a man do his job?
You're
Or do you
sleeping.
think you'd be better at it?
What do you think? What happened here last night?
The Raven broke into the Baroness's cabin, she surprised him, and he shot her.
What was he looking for in her cabin?
She was a rich woman.
Why did he lock the door?
Why not?
From inside? An impressive trick.
I'm not saying I know how he did it. I'm just saying that it was him.
Why
You
didn't
sure?
he leave a raven feather?
Are you serious? We'd have suspected him straight away.
But fortunately, we still did. Let's assume that the old raven really has returned and that he really is responsible for all this. Who is he? Or she?
Oh, could be anyone. No one's ever seen the Raven.
He could also be paying someone else to do his dirty work.
But of course. It's a fact that he used to work with partners. They even arrested some of his accomplices.
But no one could ever identify the raven himself. Some claims that they didn't even know that they were working for him. Fascinating. He could have hired someone with financial difficulties to set off the alarm at a certain time without that person knowing why they were doing it.
The man Legrand shot back then, he was a famous safecracker. He could just as well have been a henchman.
Or the real raven. There's probably no better cover for a big thief than acting like a small one.
True.
I don't want to keep you from your duties any longer.
Good idea.
Okay, have fun sleeping. Examine the water butt.
Constable Oliver brought... You can tell it's not the first time he's had to guard something. The stowaway surely didn't sleep well last night in the cargo hold. Although his cell is probably more comfortable than my cabin. And more spacious.
Okay, there's really nothing.
I wonder if this game is an advanced version of bocce. Maybe the inventor realized that it's difficult to play ball games on a boat and came up with an alternative.
Okay. Okay then. Just... Let's look at the sea, might as well. There's tons of things to observe.
Salty sea air in my old lungs, wind in my thinning hair. If I hadn't become a policeman, I could have been a sailor.
Oh, okay. Okay then. Well, let's go see if we can talk to the stowaway. I guess. Okay. Why do you randomly stop sometimes? Go into the ship. Yeah, there's a door there. Why do you have to have a loading screen when it's right there? You don't need a loading screen for everything, game. Okay, but right now we're gonna go downstairs, see if we can talk with the Grand or the Stowaway, and hopefully get some answers. It's just a big whodunit case. Miss Lydia. Examine the alarm. Might as well.
An alarm like
Really
this
looking
one
at it.
was set off yesterday. This one hasn't been set off. The security seal is intact.
Pull it.
I'm not paying for this trip, and that's a fair price for my cabin. It's rather plain, shall we say. No,
I want to see.
that is Legrand.
Come in.
Yay. Okay, Legrand, what do you got? Since you just have to be in charge of absolutely everything on this investigation. What do you want?
Ah, Zellner. Are you ready?
Good morning, Inspector Legrand.
No warning? No nothing?
My head is pounding, but I think I'm
You were
okay.
fine before.
Chloral hydrate.
Hmm?
That's why you have a headache. I found traces of it in your champagne glass.
And this chloral hydrate?
It's a tranquilizer. Can be dissolved in alcohol. The effect begins in minutes and lasts for hours. Who gave you the glass of champagne?
The captain.
I believe it was Captain DeConti.
If believing were enough for us, we'd have become priests, Constable. Be a policeman and find out for sure.
Understood. What have you found out so far?
The Baroness was shot in the chest at close range. We heard the shot.
Yes.
The murderer quickly fled the cabin and dropped the murder weapon over the railing later. A simple story so far.
So far.
But why was her cabin door locked?
Exactly. If the murderer wanted to make it seem like a suicide, he'd have shot her in the head and left the gun at the crime scene.
And if it was murder, why did he go to all the trouble of locking the door from inside? And how did he manage that anyway?
Especially since we arrived just a few seconds later and didn't see anyone near the cabin.
Something doesn't make
A lot
sense
of
here.
things don't make sense.
No, it doesn't, and it's driving me crazy.
Did you find the murder weapon?
On the gangway on the
I
side
don't know
of
why
the
I
ship.
asked that.
I
already knew
suspect
that.
the murderer tried to drop it into the sea. He would have stood close to the railing to let it fall unseen.
And since he doesn't know the ship, he had bad luck and dropped it right onto the gangway.
Indeed. And do you find that probable?
Not a bit.
Neither do I.
Type of gun.
What kind of a gun is it?
A pistol, a Luger 08.
I
Antique.
like that gun.
Manufactured a million times during and after the First World War. Austrian model. The owner is David Kreutzer, the violinist. We found him tonight totally drunk on the bow of the ship. He confirmed that it's his gun, but he claims that it was stolen from him.
Fingerprints?
Stolen.
Nothing. But it's worth mentioning that the clip was missing 2 bullets.
And it's definitely the murder weapon.
The ballistic tests are incomplete. Actually, I've been waiting far too long for the bullet recovered from the corpse. Pay the good doctor a visit, Zellner, and see that he does his job.
Okay. Jewel thief.
You think that the jewel thief is the murderer?
Our friend would have needed another key to open the safe and steal the second eye, the one the Baroness was carrying.
Great.
At least, that's what we implied.
Great.
What do you mean?
The Baroness was famous for her forgetfulness. I convinced her to give me the third key. It seems safer for the eye.
The thief searches the Baroness's cabin looking for the third key,
She returns from the saloon earlier than expected.
surprises him, and he can't allow her to identify him.
He imprisons her until the coast is clear, and then shoots her.
And thus, the thief becomes a murderer.
But still doesn't have all the keys.
Do you believe the violinist?
He'll be the first person I question. He claims he can't remember anything from
Sure.
the last few hours. Says he drank a bottle of schnapps.
He was on the train, and he doesn't have an alibi. His drunkenness could be a smokescreen.
He fits the profile. He travels a lot, has access to high society. Could be interesting.
It could.
I'll be on my way. I want to find out who gave me the drugged champagne.
Good idea. And get the bullet from Dr. Gebhardt.
Of course. Inspector Legrand? Are you okay?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you should take a break.
I can sleep once I've caught the Raven. Goodbye, Constable.
Be seeing you.
Can I go back there? Nope. I have to leave. Okay, we need to talk to the doctor. And then question the captain. Pretty sure.
Legrand is risking not just his career, but his health as well on his hunt for the Raven. He's working like a demon. Maybe that's why he caught the Raven and no one else.
Okay. I have no idea where the doctor is. We don't need to examine. Okay, hopefully you're here.
Come in.
Perfect. I do like the doctor though. He's a nice fellow.
Hello, Dr. Gebhardt.
And there's the next one.
Excuse me?
You want something else from me,
Yes.
don't you?
I'm afraid I do.
What a first day at work. Well,
Have you already removed the bullet?
did Legrand send you? What is that Frenchman's problem? I already told you. I will get in touch as soon as I have it. That is also what I told the constable, who he kept sending all night long, once I finally got rid of Legrand himself.
Did he look over your shoulder?
He probably wanted to take the scalpel from my hand and hack away himself.
yeah, probably.
But this is my surgery, and I will not let amateurs interfere with my work.
That's understandable. How much longer will it take?
Ugh. I have just finished. Send my regards to His Majesty.
Thanks.
And then knockout drops.
I am told that I was drugged.
That's how it seems.
What can you tell me about it?
Me? Why should that be my business?
You're a
Haven't you
doctor.
analyzed the glass?
No, I haven't. The inspector said he's the better chemist. I let him do it. That way I could at least concentrate on the body.
Do you know whose glass I drank from?
What do you mean?
Captain de Conti handed me a glass of champagne. But where did he get it?
I don't know. Did you ask him?
No.
I'm just asking because you were also in the saloon when the champagne was served.
Yes, but I only entered the saloon a few seconds before you did. I didn't manage to get a drink myself.
Which, in retrospect, is lucky.
Yeah, lucky.
You're right about that.
Drug Baroness.
Do you think the Baroness might have been drugged? She was very tired and unsteady when Legrand and I saw her.
Yeah, I heard about that. I must have just missed her in the saloon. And without having seen her myself, it is hard to make a diagnosis.
Of course. Can you say something
my
about
cat is
her
loud.
general health?
She was quite overweight, and the butler said that she suffered from diabetes. Despite that, she hadn't visited a
Wow.
doctor for several years.
Doesn't sound good.
Smart.
Happens more frequently than you might suppose. Some people are scared of doctors and pay with an early death. It is possible that the Baroness wouldn't have lived much longer anyway.
Jeez. I'll just say that.
I think that's it for now.
No. That is it for now, then, and later.
Jeez.
I'm going to lie down for a few hours.
Okay.
Can you tell that to your boss?
But
Jeez. Relax, doctor. I'm only trying to help. I know you're just a crabby old man.
Could I at least have the key?
Absolutely not.
But if we have to examine the victim again...
Then the esteemed inspector knows where to find me. In my cabin. In bed. Good night, Constable Zellner.
It's right outside. Let's give the bullet back to him and then try and find the captain.
Come in.
I have the bullet.
Constable.
About the bullet. Here it is.
Excellent. Give it to me. As I suspected, a 7.65 Parabellum Luger.
Don't you want to examine it in more detail?
When I
That
have
looks
time.
flat.
For now, though, we can assume that we had the murder weapon. There can't be too many antique Luger 08 pistols on board.
May I take a look at the Baroness's cabin?
We already searched it
Can I
thoroughly.
search it again?
Sure. But what about now, by daylight?
Yes, fine, it can't hurt.
Thank you.
Here, take this with you.
Why?
Thanks.
Why?
I'll let you know
I just
if I
gave you
find
it.
anything
Can you give
important.
it back?
But only then, please. I'm very busy.
Sure, that's what
Of
they all
course.
say. I don't really care about.
I'll be in touch.
Very.
I don't really care about anything else. Okay. So, search the cabin. If I can find Conti, then we will talk to him. Let's go upstairs and search the cabin. Hopefully we can find the captain too, so I can bitch slap him and ask him why he drugged me, or who. Go around here. Crack the seal.
This is the first murder scene I've ever set foot in.
Same here.
Another
Was
alarm.
this one pulled?
It was tripped at some point.
Yep.
The seal is broken. But there's no way of telling whether it happened yesterday or 5 years ago.
Okay, portable clipboard.
The most unportable portmanteau I've ever seen.
Let's open it.
A portable bar is more like it. Must be hard work transporting this big, heavy thing halfway around the globe. And the Baroness was lucky that the other freight cars were only lightly damaged by the explosion.
Let's examine the notepad, see if the guy left any notes, any traces.
The notepad has the ship's emblem on it. I suppose all the first-class cabins have them.
What? Random loading screen. Oh! Didn't know I was moving. Okay. What? Inspector. Be in the saloon at 10 p.m. There is a murderer on board. And I will expose him. B. Anything else? I guess Whatever his story is, he's not a thief. Nothing's... Oh. Now what? Okay. Well then.
No, I still can't read the message.
I just read it. Okay.
It says, Inspector, be in the saloon at 10 p.m. There is a murderer on board and I will expose him. B. The Baroness seems to have known the murderer. And that means that the Raven can't be the murderer. He never killed anybody. Legrand probably never got the message. Otherwise, he'd have said something.
Well then.
The mannequin surely came with the sunflowers. But can't be in a
Okay. Examine the bed.
There's still blood on the mattress. The sheet and the blanket have already been removed. To analyze them, I suppose. A tape recorder.
Let's play it.
Must go with the built-in speakers. The tape recorder is older than the hills, but at top of the range. There's only one reel. And it's the wrong one. No. No sign. A reel made siblings tape. They use, but they're not.
Take it. There we go. Finally. I didn't want to hear him ramble on and on. Is there anything inside the vase?
A big, if it had a wider open.
What is he doing? I should have read that.
Can't see anything.
Break it. Break it.
Wow. Heavier than it looks.
Break it. Break it. Break it.
Aha. Why were the down feathers tossed in the vase? Or is there anything else in there? There may be something else in the vase, but the neck is too narrow to reach in with my hand.
So, I need to... Do I have anything? No.
The sibling, the tape.
Okay, no, go. Sometimes the controls are kind of all over the place.
The portholes.
So-
If some.
Come on.
Apparently, the Baroness didn't have, or rather, didn't have.
Exam.
But here,
Look in it.
aha. A small leather-bound book. 1964 is engraved on it. This must be the Baroness's diary.
Examine.
Cosmetics?
Read the diary.
Let's see.
Do I have to read it, or are you going to?
Yes, it's a diary,
Oh,
all right.
Good job.
Difficult to read. No entry from yesterday. A brief, sober description of what she's done recently. Met Morris, arranged benefit concert for renovation of Louvre Southeastern Wing, Times photo shoot for Eye of Sphinx, BM, poor excuse for photographer, too fidgety,
Anything about a murderer?
and so on.
That's it.
This entry looks strange. The handwriting is shaky, difficult
Sounds
to
like
read.
my grandmother's.
Dreamt of Bobby. Yesterday would have been his birthday. Next week, Jay's. The Baroness was a... She writes about Bobby and Jay. Almost every family lost love.
Take
I'll leave it there.
Take it.
I don't have time to read.
Okay. Well, we'll report back to Legrand on... Stupid! Oh my gosh, these controls. I can examine the feathers, just so you know. We're gonna go talk to Legrand, and then we're gonna be done for now. I don't care, talk to the butler! Hi,
Hello, Mr. Inch.
Mr. Inch.
Oh, Constable, hello.
You look the worse for wear. It must be terrible for you.
Quite terrible. No one will hire me now.
Excuse me?
My mistress was murdered. Would you hire a butler who's been mixed up in a murder?
But if it turns out that you're not guilty...
If. But what if not? Who else would they blame? There are no gardeners on this ship.
I understand your problem. Under these circumstances, I'm sure you'd answer some questions that could help clear your name, wouldn't you?
Of course.
Don't lie.
Did you notice anything suspicious last night?
No, sir. After the Baroness went to the saloon, I went to the forecastle. I was there until the alarm went off. I went to the side deck and arrived shortly after Professor Lucien and Miss Miller. We found you and Inspector Legrand there. You were unconscious, and the inspector asked us to take care of you.
Gunshot.
Did you hear the gunshot?
No.
What?
Just the alarm, sir.
Okay.
You said you were on the forecastle. It sounded like the Baroness let you have the rest of the night off.
Not entirely, sir. One of the crew informed me that the Baroness wanted to be roused at 10:15.
Right. Why was that?
I suppose that she wanted to toast the success of the journey with the captain and the other passengers.
She hadn't intended to take a nap then.
That was not her way, sir.
Sure.
She had a lot of spirit, shall we say, when it came to social engagements and a glass or two of champagne.
Ransack cabin.
The Baroness's cabin seems to
What
have been
about that?
ransacked.
Indeed, sir, by the Baroness
Sure.
herself.
Really?
She was searching for something the entire afternoon.
What was that something?
And did she find it?
I think she did, sir, yes. She was in high spirits when she finally left her cabin.
You wouldn't happen to know what she was looking for, would you?
I'm afraid not.
Orderly woman.
Would you describe the Baroness as orderly?
Well, she always had a lot of responsibilities, sir.
That doesn't answer my question.
She used to take a lot of luggage on journeys, and I helped her keep track of it as best I could. She was always very angry when she couldn't find something.
What about the photos and the documents I saw in her cabin?
I really don't know. They were out of bounds to me, sir.
What do you mean?
Memories from the war, I'd say. They meant a lot to her.
The Baroness seemed to be pretty drunk the last time I saw her.
Is that so?
Yes.
Does that surprise
Where
you?
were you?
Did the Baroness not drink?
Oh, yes, she drank. It was no secret.
I understand. How serious was her habit?
Serious enough, sir.
Was she under any medical supervision?
Certainly not, sir. She adamantly refused to see a doctor. Like so many elderly women, she had a distinct aversion to hospitals and the like.
How long had you worked for the Baroness?
6 months, sir.
Only 6 months. I always thought that butlers stayed with their employers for decades.
Those decades have to start at some point, Constable. Her former butler wasn't able to fulfill his duties any longer. Gout, sir.
I understand.
I took on his duties and hoped for a secure position for the next 20 years.
Stiff arm.
May I ask what happened to your arm?
A souvenir from the war, sir.
Doesn't it hinder your work?
Yes, sir, obviously.
I didn't mean to offend you.
The Baroness had a soft spot for disabled veterans. I think she'd been through a lot herself.
I think that's all for now.
Please, sir, find the murderer. You have to clear me of all suspicion.
Wow, I really think that you did it now. No one would say, okay, except for him, I guess, but that, please clear my name, I didn't do it. You have to help me, and not do a single thing for himself. That's what I don't get. But that's gonna be it for now, guys. Sorry if this episode was kind of boring. It was really talkative. Not a lot of action happened, but in the next part,
Been drifting
we'll
in
probably
the ocean.
have some
Feel
more
I've been a
action
slave. Think I found
involved.
myself again. It's time to hit the way.
And
In control, patrol my streets. So glad that I'm
thank
alive.
you guys for watching.
Alive,
Comment,
I
like,
live. I'm never
subscribe,
scared
and I will
because I'll
see
never
you
die.
next time
Try to kill
on
the
the
pain
other
and
side of
bills.
the
The circle never stops.
Stay
Circle
up.
smaller every day until we hit them rocks. Bottom dark as Gotham. Taught them a lesson. My confession. You got some misdirection. Attention. You got a problem. Attention.